Well, for more on this, I can now speak to renowned journalists and football experts Marwan Saeed, who joins us live from Cairo, as well as Uganda's Darren Kyeyune, who is with us, joining us live from Cote d'Ivoire. Marwan, I'll begin with you on the issue of the video assistant referee at the tournament. What example has this AFCON set to the world so far?
It has set a simple example that VAR can work and VAR doesn't have to ruin games. Obviously, we've seen a lot of mistakes in matches, in leagues, in big competitions all across Europe. It has set a great example of how to use it, and that it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to ruin games, and it can, if used in the correct way, I think it will be very good for football.
Right, and let me come to you, Darren. Now, you've been there up close and personal. What's been your take on the use of VAR in this AFCON?
I think, first of all, it's been quite astute, and it's been a key determiner to the results, some of the results that we've witnessed, particularly the surprises that have come in this particular championship. I don't think the use of VAR here can be matched to the way it's been used in leagues like in England.
Right, and staying with you, Darren, let's talk about coaching now. Half of the quarterfinalists at this year's AFCON have local coaches. Do African nations maybe need to rethink spending huge sums of money to hire foreign managers at the expense of homegrown talent?
You know, it's a two-pronged question. First of all, I think the use of home-based coaches, still it comes at a price, because there are lots of investments that are done to get these coaches into the proper state for them to be real competitors, as it is currently at the Africa Cup of Nations. If you look at the quarterfinal stage that has Kabadi Awar of Guinea, Eric Chelle of Mali, Bobist of Cape Verde, as well as Emas Faye of Ivory Coast, you still feel that the inclusion of these managers still comes at a cost for these federations, because they've got to invest in terms of the technical aspects, considering to shipping the experience that some of the managers, particularly from Europe, have brought to this kind of special tournament that we're having.
Right. Marwan, let me come to you now. Eliminated record winners Egypt reportedly have been paying Portuguese boss Rui Vitória a reported $2.4 million annual salary. What are the sentiments about this in Egypt?
People are not happy. The national team didn't perform. There has been questions over his appointment from the start because he doesn't have proper international experience with national teams. So in my opinion, just catching up on the point you just mentioned, that maybe local coaches are better, it's difficult to say that these foreign coaches will always come to our national teams and perform, because at the end of the day they don't have a big emotional attachment to the nation. It's possibly better when a local coach takes over a team, but someone like Vitória, for example, he can come here, coach the team. If he does well, okay, it's good for his CV. But if he doesn't do well, there's not much pressure on him. What's going to happen? He's going to lose his job? Okay, but he will take his money and leave. At the end of the day, he considers it a job more than a national duty, if we'll keep it this way.
Right, and staying with you, Marwan, many teams at this AFCON have prominently featured naturalized players in their squads. What does this then say about the talent development programs in place by African FAs here?
It doesn't bode well if this is the case. We have national teams like, for example, Algeria, waiting on players in Europe to finally decide that they're not going to be representing their birth nations, like Ayet Nouri, their left back, like Hossam Awar, who just switched his allegiances to Algeria. So if we're going to wait for these players just so that our national teams look stronger or have better talented players, then obviously it says a lot about the development of football in Africa, that we don't have enough resources, we don't have the capabilities to nurture many of these players to stardom, and this is why we find and have to wait for most of them in Europe to choose our national teams as the second option if they're not choosing their first options, the option where they represent their birth nation.